Just buy as little as 100 shares each and every month. And guess what? By the way, you know what? On these videos of mine, or rather should I say on this channel of mine, I love talking about practical things. Sure, I do motivate, but at the same time, I love to educate and tell you the reality. So buy yourself as low as 100 shares only each and every month. And I dare you, in the next 2 years, you're gonna start testing what we call the financial freedom. And I'm not talking about the theory things. Actually, I'm making this video literally 10 minutes from me buying this month's shares. All right. So what am I talking about? And I know you'll be like, oh my goodness, Joseph, shares cost a lot of money. I think that is the investment reserved for the wealth. You know, that's an investment reserved for the rich people. No, no, no. Just dispel all those things that you thought that you knew. Sit down, watch this video to the end. By the way, you guys have been saying on the comment section, Joseph, you talk too much or too fast rather. Slow down. Okay, fine. I'm gonna go step by step. I'm gonna take my time. It's only that I'm used to taking care of time, so that even when I'm talking, I talk too fast. But anyway, it is what it is. This is Good Joseph speaking. In case you're watching my videos for the first time, guess what we do here? We go ahead and subscribe. Make sure that you like the video. By the way, why do I even tell you to subscribe and like the video? So that whenever I upload a new good video, you'll never miss any, because I upload a video each and every day by God's grace. Let's get into the business. Now, the very first thing that you're supposed to understand is that it does not cost you crazy amount of money for you to buy shares. And I'm going to divide these shares into 3 categories, okay? We have the category 1, the category 2, or A and B and what? And C. So on the category A, this is where we talk about the shares that cost very little amount of money. By the way, if you're watching this from Kenya, we have shares that cost as little as 1 shilling. 1 shilling for a single share. 1 shilling. For example, if you buy the KPLC, that is the biggest, actually the only Kenya Power and Lighting Company, is the company that is responsible for our electricity and what have you. 1 share costs less than 2 shillings. With as little as 1 shilling and 60 cents, you have 1 share of KPLC. All right. So now give me for example, if you want to buy only 100 shares of KPLC, it will cost you around less than 200 Kenyan shilling. You get what I'm saying? For instance, okay, we call them the penny shares, the penny stocks. All right, the penny stocks. And I said penny stocks are an amazing way of making money, but they tend to be a bit volatile in terms of what? In terms of, how the price fluctuations and what have you. So there are good ways of making money, but at the same time, they can be a little bit, wishy-washy. But if you just buy the penny stocks, then we have this. Those are the shares that you can afford. That are very, in terms of the pricing, are quite affordable. Then we have, should I say the what? I'm actually looking for the proper terms to say. We can say dividend shares. Dividend shares. Let me use a different pen so that we can have a difference. Dividend shares. I've actually looked for just a weird name anyway, just to me like sort of a moderate kind of pricing and what have you. Under the penny stocks here, we have share that cost from 1 shilling all the way to. By the way, I know I talk about shillings and some of you are watching, no, you're not familiar with the shillings. Go check if you're watching from South Africa, I realize I have a lot of guys watching from South Africa. Go to the Johannesburg Stock Exchange. Is it called JSE or something? Yeah, you go check that, okay? Check that what can afford. Maybe it's 2 rands, 1 rand, 3 rands, 4 rands, whatever they think it is, okay? From whatever the country that you're watching from, okay? Now, in Kenya, let's say, and use the concept. Don't just crap, use the concept. So from 1 shilling all the way to, let's say, 8 shilling. Let me just say 8 shillings to 9. Let me just say 9 shillings, okay? From 1 to 9 shilling. This one we can classify as the penny stocks. Then average here, we have the shares that cost from, say, from let's say 10 all the way to around 35, okay? All the way from 10 shillings to all the way to 35 shillings. Okay, we can call them average. All right. And by the way, I love buying these a lot, okay? And then we have the other ones that cost above, let's say above 36, above 36 shillings, above 36. This can go to, in Kenya, we have the one that goes for 170, 200, we have the 300. By the way, in Kenya, we only have one stock or one share or one company that said their share at around above 350 shillings around there. Okay, so I've classified 3 categories of shares. Now, I want you to decide. Assume these are 3 different individuals. Okay, You may not have the okay, let me explain why I'm actually giving you these prices. All these prices, we call them the price per share. How much the share is trading as of now. Are we together? And of course, the limit is to buy 100 shares. According to the NSE, that is Nairobi Securities Exchange, you can buy as little as 100 shares. Okay, assuming that you want to buy 100 shares in this category A, assuming maybe you do not have a lot of money to spare at the end of the month, okay? Now, say you buy an average of, say, a share that cost 3 shillings, okay? Let's say you buy a share that cost as little as 3 shillings. Do you know what that means? It simply means it's 3 shillings, which is the price per share, multiplied by the number of shares that you're buying, which is 100, which is in according to our title. So meaning you need 300 Kenyan shilling for you to buy for you to buy 100 shares of that particular company that you've decided. If you decide to buy the 9 shilling one, it's 9 times 100, you have yourself 900. And of course, for you to buy shares, you must need a stockbroker in Kenya. That is by law. And these stockbrokers are not individuals, because when I say stockbrokers or brokers in Kenya, they have what do we call it? These negative connotations and what have you. So when I talk about stockbrokers, are big institutions and companies. Some of them, you know them guys anyway. But if you need any personal guidance on buying shares, you can always DM me, or you can always pick that number from the description. I can take you step by step, and for just a cup of coffee's price. Now, see, 900 to cost you that. So if a broker should charge you at least 2%, at most, actually not at least, at most 2% of whatever. So 2% of 300, because 1% of 300 is what? Is it 30 shilling? Yeah, 30 shillings plus, not even 30 shillings. Well, 1% of 300 is 10% of this should be 30. So like that's like 3 shilling. So this one will cost you like 6 shillings or 10 shillings, less than 10 shillings. So you simply need like, let's say approximately 310 shillings for you to buy 100 shares of this particular company. This one will cost you around, say, let's say at most 20. So this one will cost you around 920 shillings for you to buy that amount of money. So it's quite affordable. So it depends. Now we go to this category. The same case applies. 10 times 100. That means you need 1,000 plus the stockbrokers charges. That will cost you around another like 20 or 30 shillings or so. So let's say like 10, 30. I'm throwing those numbers randomly, because I know they are quite affordable. Let's say you go for that one. Let's even say you go for the one that cost around, 35 shillings. 35 multiplied by 100, you need 3,500 to buy 100 shares of that particular company that you have decided to be buying shares for or from. And you don't have to buy one company. You can buy this company share this month. You can buy a different one, or you can buy that particular company consistently. But it's always good to spread your risk out there. So plus the broker's fee, maybe let's say 100, maybe that will cost you around 3,600. Let's say you are the third person and you have a little bit of cash. For instance, let's say you can afford to buy shares that is worth 350 shillings. So that will be 350 shillings multiplied by 100. That will cost you 35,000. 35,000 plus the broker's fee, let's say like 300 or something. That will cost you 35,300 or something also. So, okay. Now the point is this: depends. Buy the ones that you can afford. And the point is this: if you can commit yourself buying only 100 shares each and every month, for example, you decide, hey, this month I'm gonna buy shares worth 100, let's say 300 Kenyan shillings, if that is what I can afford. For instance, we usually have in Kenya, we call them the mamamboga. Mamboga simply means these people that they don't earn a lot of money. They simply do what do you call? In Kenya, we call them vibarua. These normal activities like, selling vegetables, you're selling fruit somewhere. Probably you are employed in a hotel somewhere, or a restaurant somewhere, a makeshift restaurant. Like you maybe your daily income maybe probably ranges from 1,000 to 1,500 to less than 1,000, there in between, and you're not employed by the government. What does that mean? It means that you have to create your own system. You have to create your own pension plan, whereby you are saying, you know what, I'm not employed by the government, so I'm not looking forward to one day being given a pension. So how then can I safeguard my future? Because I don't want to be, what do we call, sort of a disturbance or a nuisance to my children. By the way, for instance, right now, if you're watching this video, how many of you guys, you're so angry, your parents or maybe say your family members can't even let you breathe? They're over your neck every time. By the way, there is nothing wrong with them asking, but Okay, you would love to help them, but at the same time you feel like, oh my goodness, if someone can actually, if someone did something along the way, probably I could actually focus solely on, getting myself, in the right fit and educating my kids, giving them the best education ever, supporting them financially and everything is concerned. So if you want to prevent such kind of an occurrence in the future, please be buying these shares constantly. Just dedicate. If some people, you say, you know what, Joseph, I am not able to keep my money by myself. Once I save it somewhere, I misuse my money. You know what, I'm not disciplined and what have you. So how about you keep it? And by the way, how about you decide and be like, you know what, each and every month I'll be buying shares worth nine shilling per share. And this is quite of a good company, a company that is selling shares, per 9 shillings per share. That's an amazing company. I'm not saying the one that is selling at 1 shilling is not a good company. No, the one, all of them are okay. So you accumulate those shares. So in simple terms, what I'm talking about is accumulation of these shares. Once you accumulate these shares, guess what happens now? Let's now go to the actuality of you achieving that financial freedom. Okay, I hope you've taken a screenshot about this so that at least you get these numbers later and you can consume them, because I'm about to wrap them. Okay, now we go to, now you've bought your shares and everything is going good, and the time has come. Remember one thing, in shares you earn in two ways. We have what we call the capital gain. You can buy a share at 1 shilling. Maybe after 1 year, the share is at around 4 shillings or 5 shillings. Okay, that means maybe if you bought like the ones for 300 shillings, that thing has actually multiplied by 4 times. So if you had a 300 in your investment, now we are talking about 1,200. You get what I'm saying? So that change from the buying price to the current price, that's what we call the capital gain. And here we are not talking about the capital gain, of which it's another way of actually earning your money. Let's even solely talk about the dividends, because we are looking forward to what we call financial freedom, the passive income coming in without you doing nothing. All right, now here we are. See, let's say you bought shares worth 9 shilling. 9 shilling, okay, 9 shilling. Obviously the first month you buy 100 shares multiplied by 12, because a year is made up of 12 months. That gives you 1,200 shares per year or per annum. Then 1,200 multiplied by 2, because we are talking about 2 years, then you'll have yourself 2,400 shares. Not amount. You'll be having 2,400 shares. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2,000 shares, 2,400 shares. Now, we come to how do they pay? This is simple. I'm going to give you a very simple, what do we call it? A very simple concept that they use to pay the dividends. Let's say a company has made a profit of 100 billion, okay? 100 billion Kenyan shilling. So they decide, out of this profit that we've made, we're going to share, say, half of it, which is 50 billion, okay? Obviously, they can't share every profit because, of course, they need to expand, they need to do other things, pay wages and what have you. So let's say they decide to share the 50 billion. This is how they calculate how much they're gonna pay, okay? Well, maybe the thing has changed, but so far that's what I understand. So it is 50 billion, all right, 50B divided by the number of floated shares. What does it mean? Your shares, if you have 2,400, another has 5,000, another has 300, another has 700, another has what? So that is what called the total number of floated shares. Total number of floated shares, TNFs. Okay. Now, whatever the magic number they will get, that's what they call the EPS, the earning per share. All right. That is the amount of money that they will pay you per given share. Per given, it's called EPS, earning per share. Okay, for example, now let's say the number that they've gotten here, it is 4, or maybe let's say, yeah, let's even use 4. Okay, now that is the number that they have gotten, it is 4. Now they will pay 4 shilling per every share that you have. They will pay 4 shilling per every share that you have. Now this will happen, it will be for 2,400. That is the number of shares that you have multiplied by 4. You guys do the mathematics and tell me how much that goes for. We can even do together here. 0016 189. Now they will pay you 9,600 Kenyan shilling as your dividends. You don't have to withdraw, you don't have to initiate nothing. You just go to your bank and you just get the 9,600 has actually been credited in your bank account. Can you just imagine that? As little as that has actually been credited. Now, this 9,600 in Kenya has gotten you a very nice 1 bedroom, very nice one bedroom. You're living in a decent life. And by the way, you did do nothing. You didn't call nobody. You didn't follow up. You didn't make any calls. You didn't pay any permit. You didn't pay any license. Of course, the tax has actually been deducted, which is 15%. So whatever lands in your account has actually been subjected to the tax deductions and what have you. So the point is, now, this is what we call now the genesis. Can you imagine this? If you're just as young as in high school, not high school, and if you're in high school and you have some cash with you, you can go ahead and do this. Let's say maybe you're a campus student, usually don't have a lot. When the help comes in, you plug some few coins there, you buy these shares. You can just imagine what will happen to you if you do so for the next 4 years. You know, sometimes I get these DMs and students are asking me, Joseph, what can I invest on if I'm a student? These are the things. You just get that 300. We've talked about only 900, particularly 900, 900, 900, 900, or 500, or 300, or 500, whatever the amount of money that you can afford. Okay? You imagine buying these penny shares, you're getting yourself this amount of money. And guess what? We've not calculated the capital gains. Maybe these shares have actually migrated from 9 shillings all the way to 14 shillings, to 15 shillings, to 13 shillings, to 10 shillings. That's another increment. If you were to liquidate your shares, meaning if you were to sell them, you're still on money. Can you imagine this? What if we do this? What if we go to the last one? You know, whereby maybe their earning per share, EPS, maybe their EPS maybe goes for, we have companies that even pay 50 shillings per share. 50 shillings. So far, that is the highest we have in Kenya as of now, okay? Well, as of this year. I'm making this video of 2024. See, 50 shillings. You can imagine it's 50 shillings multiplied by 2,400 if you had that amount of money to invest. You go ahead and just calculate and tell me how much it is, okay? That's quite a lot of money. We are talking about above 100K per month, or rather per that particular financial year. And some of these companies, they pay 2 times the interim dividends, maybe after 6 months, another one after that particular year. And you can just imagine how much you're getting yourself. So in a period of as little as 2 years, you're now starting to experience. And by the way, let me tell you one secret. Perhaps this one may sound as if, oh my goodness, it's complicated, it's hard. How will I even wait for 2 years? By the way, even the first year they pay you. The second year they do that. Let's say assume this money you don't even need to eat it. You simply plow back. You plow back. You plow back. Let's say you watch this video when you're at your 30. Let's say you watch this video when you're at your 40. Let's even say you watch this video at your 50. You do so for the next 10 years. You just tell me how much will you manage to actually accumulate by yourself in that particular period of time. Let me tell you one thing, guys. Achieving the financial freedom, yeah, I know it may sound as if it's a big animal, you know, something that is unachievable, something is too complicated to achieve. But if you embark on practical actions, you know, I tell you one thing, when it comes to wealth creation, it is intentional. You cannot just do it anyhowly and just or sit nowhere or somewhere and expect a miracle to happen. You know what? You need to commit yourself. You need to do something, and do not ride on this, you know, vehicle of excuses. And every time saying, you know what, the government is not doing it. Yeah, sure, that may be the case, but the reality is, what can you actually do as yourself? You don't have to give up. Sometimes when I used to, by the way, I remember when I started buying these stocks and shares, and I was like, oh my goodness, yes, I'm not getting a lot, but you know what? I'm going to keep on pumping this. I'm going to keep on feeding this beast. I feed this beast. I feed this animal called stocks. I feed this animal continuously, continuously, continuously. In a period of 5 years, in a period of 10 years, you're going to get yourself. By the way, you can make a decision if you're watching this from Kenya. Or you can be like, you know what? We're going to have a general election on 2027. That is basically like 3 years from today. You decide and be like, you know what? By the time you're going for the next general election, that is 3 years for me. I'm going to do that what Joseph said. And I'm going to check exactly what will I gain in that particular period of time. You can actually translate this from your country. If you're watching this from Nigeria, and I know Nigerians are calling me all the time, go to your stock exchange body that you have, you know, inquire on the same, go to their website and try to learn some things. And if you're in Kenya, I can be able to guide you on what you're supposed to do. Let's be action oriented. And we Africa, it's the high time that we change and transform. You know what really pains me a lot is to know that our Nairobi Securities Exchange, most of the people who have invested on our stock exchange are actually foreigners. I do not have any problem with foreigners investing. What I have a problem with is the locals, or we Kenyans. We not even bother. We don't even bother. We actually on our merry-go-round. Can you imagine somebody flying all the way from the UK, the Switzerland and Finland and whatever the places, and the US, coming here and buy our stocks? By there you are. You actually in this simple, I don't know what we call them, the merry-go-round. You are doing nothing. It's earning you nothing. You're subjected to inflation and what have you. These guys, they come here, they make money, and then they leave. And there is nothing wrong. Even we invest on their stocks out there internationally. But as you do that, it is good to make sure that at least buy stocks from our home. Let's grow our continent. Let's grow our country. And let's grow our pockets so that at least we can safeguard our future. And guess what? That's good Joseph speaking. Allow me to end this video, this particular point. I hope I'm going to leave you with a point that can help you to buying as little as 100 shares, and they can change your life and can transform your life greatly. That's good, Joseph. And by the way, if you got value out of this video, please, 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 please. Some of you guys are watching my videos. You don't even like, you don't even subscribe. Come on, just do something, okay? Go ahead and like the video. Make sure that you subscribe, turn that notification bell so that whenever I upload a new good video, you can go ahead and watch it. And this is good, Joseph. And see you in the next one.